It's grid based. My work here is done. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is TJ, and today we are jumping into Subby devlog number 3. I'm hoping to get the sub movement, life collecting, maybe some inventory management for the submarine working. It is Thanksgiving today. It's just kind of, let's get this knocked out as a nice little treat to end the week, and we'll go from there. All right, so jumping back into this project, we've got the player sitting right here. If we start the game and pause it, we can see all of the life being spawned. We got our funny little jellyfish, and these would be the tiger bloats. We've got the player here, and the reason, if I unpause this, the player's not moving, is because we don't have simulated checked. So if I check simulated, we can see that I can hold the player where it needs to be. So what the plan is going to be is we're going to turn off gravity and then set position based on the input. The other thing we need to do, since the player should have a capsule collider, so we can see that here on this screen. It might be a little hard to see, but there's a little green outline to the player here. So what this little green outline does is lets us change where the collision points are on the player. I'm going to leave it as a circle for now, as the capsule collider. It's not going to hurt anything. Whatever this touches is what the player's going to collect. So that's a good starting point to start with. After that, what we need to do is make sure on, find it, prefabs life. This is also going to need a collider at some point. It's not showing up in the inspector with a actual sprite here down here at the bottom, but what the plan is we're going to get a collider on this, and then anytime we bump into it, we're going to add it to the inventory. Nice and simple. We're not adding in damage or if it can be automatically inventoried. I guess that would be the correct term. So as soon as the player collides with it, it's going straight to the inventory. We'll add weapons and whatnot in later, and health bars for the life. At this point, I'm not too worried about it. So to get the basic stuff in, it's going to be get the player moving around and get it collecting stuff. So let's see how far we can get. I'll check back in here in a minute. Alright, so I just did a little bit of research and found out there is a character controller. That's a lot different than what I remembered seeing a couple years ago, so let's look into this real quick. So to add this thing, we're going to need to remove the capsule collider and the rigid body 2D. We just need to look for a character controller. And I've modified the player script to take a character controller, so if we add it, start this up, wait for it to compile, and move the player, just like that. We have grid-based player movement, which that makes my life so much easier. I had no idea this was a thing. Way to go, Unity. All right. So, how do we use this now? I'm going to dig into it and take you guys along for the ride. Enjoy the time lapse. All right, so at this point, we now have smooth movement on our player. That was significantly easier than what I remember it being back in the day. I'll take Unity implemented stuff over custom for something like this any day. Makes my life easy, and I can focus on the stuff that matters. So, now that we've got that, that's smooth. And what's nice is you can see over here, it's a little small, but movement speed. I can crank this up to, crank it to 11. Boom. We can move angles, and it just does its thing. Sweet. All right, movement's done. Check. All right. Now, to get collisions working with collecting life. Moving on to that. So, after reading some documentation on how the character controller over here works with collisions, we have to change a couple things in how our project is set up. So the first thing we need to do is go here to our life, and instead of using rigid body 2D and capsule collider 2D, we're going to have to change these to their 3D counterparts. So what I'm going to do here is add a box collider and a rigid body. And I'll set the rigid body to not use gravity because we don't need gravity. And I'm going to set the box collider as a trigger so we can trigger it properly. Next thing that we need to do is on the, let's see, on this, we're going to need to change this to probably 0.2. We drag this into our scene. Somewhere in here. Just drop it down right there. We can see this gives us a nice little box that has some depth to it. Something I would like to do is make sure the submarine stays in front of all of the life. So move our Z forward a little bit. So we'll go -0.1. We can see that from an angle, it's kind of hard to see. If I do that, you can see our template life circle, that would be this bottom one, is just a little bit behind. We can also check this if we look over here on the right. Move myself real quick. If we look over here on the right hand side, we can see the Z is set to -0.1. On the life, it is set to 0. So that's going to let us actually do this properly. Put myself back up here. All right. So life should be good. There's no overrides. We can just delete it from the scene. And then if we save this. All right, so going to the code, we can see we have this on controller collider hit. What this will let us do is see which object we hit. So if we go back here and we look at the life, we actually don't need it to be a trigger. So starting this, we can see one luckily spawned right next to us. If we move over, I can clear the log real quick and then move down, we can see we're bumping into life with the call that we are making right here with this debug log. So collision is working. We can see the life we're bumping into, and we should be able to collect it now. This is going to require, I'm trying to think how I might do C# events and pass them up to the Subby gameplay controller, since this is where our cargo lives, and then just have the cargo listen for a collected event. And once that happens and it's been added to the inventory, we just delete the game object. I think this is going to be the easiest way to do this. I like using C# events, especially for simple things like this, for cross-class communication without having to link everything directly. So yeah, let's jump into that one. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm looking at some old code, and we'll get this set up and working properly. I don't think I actually needed to create this event setup. You're seeing live development of how I actually do some workflow. So let's get this in here. So I'm going to do a public event. We're going to call it life collect handler, and we'll just do life collect handler. And then we also need a public delegate void life collect handler. And this is going to take our scriptable object for life, and we'll give it a variable name L, and that should do that. Now in here, I'm going to just delete this because we don't need it. If we go to our game controller, we can do a, let's put it under here. This will be a private void. Make sure I'm doing this properly. So it's going to be, maybe it needs to be a public void collect life, and give it the same kind of function structure as the event here. And then on start, all we have to do is tell it that we need the player dot life collect handler. We'll do plus equals collect life. That's all we got to do to subscribe to the event. And now that should work. So we go here and do a console debug.log l dot let's go name. Then we should be able to see that the object is showing up here. We can make this a little more descriptive. So collected life. Just put a comment in here. Okay. Plus. If we go back to the player, all we have to do is we're gonna go life collect handler, and we'll use this operator right here. So this says if it's not null, so it's doing a null check. So we can say if it's not null, invoke. We need to get the life from this, so it's going to be hit. Let's put this here. Hit dot game object dot get component life dot get data. And what the get data should do is on our life object, it returns the life. So that'll be good. And then all we have to do is hit dot game object dot do a destroy. Destroy. Destroy immediate. Just do destroy. And now this should all be piped through and working properly. Let's take a second. All right, swap this back to 2D. And zoom out so we can see what we're doing. All right, we got lots of life here. I'm going to go for this one that's straight down. Oh, we're paused. So go over, clear this, move straight down. All right, it destroyed it, but we're not seeing the collect event. Why not? Should have worked. Unless our Subby controller doesn't have the player. So we put the player on here and go collect the next one after we clear this. Nothing. It's because it's on start that we're doing that. So we need that. There. Now we should be good. Freaking myself out for no reason. Clear the logs. Collected life. Just like that. Now we're destroying the life object. We're destroying life. So we're collecting the life, but we're destroying the object that exists in the scene. Now we have to take that data and put it in our inventory. what I may do is put a check in to make sure that the life can fit in the inventory and inventory is not full. And if it, we might be able to return a bool saying if it can actually happen. And if that works, then we can destroy the object. Otherwise, we just kind of ignore it. That might be the way to do this. I think that's the route we're going to go. Let's see here. So going back to code, we have this here. So this is in player. I don't think I need to bring that out every single time. Or this is now working. This is the code we're working with. Can we do a bool? If we do a bool here, then in this needs to be bool. Okay. I'll code pass return value. Okay, so we can say if inventory. I haven't written this yet. All right, now we're getting into the fun stuff. Let me collapse this. Go to the inventory. Add life to cargo, remove life from cargo. We also need one to public void get ooh. You know what? Just make this a bool. Add life to cargo. That works. Return true. Otherwise, return false. Okay, that's good. We'll just go here and we can put this here. This actually takes the life object. Let's make this scriptable object life. Gets rid of that call. Right? Yeah. L. And then anywhere that is, it's just L. Oops. Okay, cargo add. Cargo is scriptable object life. And then this is scriptable object life. Change this here to just L. Just L. There we go. Get rid of that. We can say collected life, L.name. Right. So if it works, collected life. Otherwise, we can print this out and say cargo full. Come back here and just go return cargo dot add life to cargo L. Oops, this is capital L. There we go. And then what this should do is, or in the player, we can go if this work. Poke. So we'll get a bool back. We're just go if this, destroy it. Otherwise, we should just be able to pass right on over it. And then let's make sure inventory, current weight is 0. And max weight. Equip cargo bay. This is on our inventory. We should make sure this is working, and we should be good. Subby controller, inventory, start standard cargo bay. We don't have shield. Equip cargo bay, standard one. I'll move my face so we can see max cargo weight here is 20. Good. So if I run this after we fix this, ooh, is that going to work? How are we going to get this to work? This may return a bool. Bool collected. Equal to that. And we can put a question mark for true, false. Does this work? Huh. What we could do is just pass the game object up rather than the life. That'll make this a little bit dumber, and then it's not in charge of destroying life in the player. I like this idea better. Do if this, do that. And then this will be the game object. L, we need to here is so temp is equal to L dot get component life dot get data. Now we can do, let's close life data. Life data. Okay. And then we can just destroy L. If that's good. And then this is complaining because this doesn't match the name here, but we can make this void. This can just be the game object. Come on. There we go. Now jumping back to Unity. No compilers. That's the wrong return type. Collect life. Void. There we go. Still complaining, huh? Life collect handler. Hit the game object. There we go. Fix that one. Run it. Start collecting some life. Collected. Okay. How heavy are each of these? Let's go into life. Move me again. We can see the jellies are 1. Tiger bloats are 5. So let's collect some of these. 1, 2, 3, 8, 13, 18. No? Is that off by counting? Cargo's full. We're collecting life. You know what? I think that's an excellent place to leave this. I think we're good. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a fun little Thanksgiving quickie that I wanted to get done, and we got it working. Until the next one, feel free to check out my buddy Ryan's music down below. He gave me some music to toss in these videos, and it'd be awesome if you could go check him out and see what his music's about. He's probably going to be doing some music for Subby here soon, and looking forward to making some more progress. Until the next one, TJ out.